Good morning, everyone. So in the last class, we discussed mainly about DDL command, that is create. So we'll continue from there. These are the statements. Create is number one. In create, we can create a table without any constraint, or we can create a table with constraint. Constraint can be implemented in two locations. Number one is at column level. Number two is at table level. Column level, it refers to only one column. Table level, it can refer to multiple columns. If you're giving a primary key constraint at table level, the first column is called as primary key column, and the other columns which are included within parentheses, they're called as candidate key. Okay, so that is what was discussed. And we discussed even about primary key constraint. It will not allow you to insert null values, plus it will not even allow you to insert duplicate values. Okay. Then we worked with the other constraint. We understood that details of constraint is recorded in user underscore constraint table. You can enable or you can disable the constraint by either dropping it or adding it. Okay. Using alter, we can do that. Alter add, alter modify, and alter drop. All those three are also DDL statement. Okay. All right. So that's about alter, which can help you in adding the constraint or dropping the constraint that is implemented. Then we discussed about not null constraint. Not null constraint will not allow you to insert null values. Null values can be inserted in different ways by using null statement, null, or we can ignore the column at the time of insertion, or we can just, if it is like interactive insert statement, we can hit enter to insert null values. That is what we have seen practically. Then we work with unique constraint. Unique constraint will allow you to insert multiple null values, but no duplicate values. Okay, so it plays a role of null as well as it will play a role of primary key. No repetition, that will be taken care by unique, plus null values, it will insert null values. Okay, so that's about not null constraint, check constraint, unique constraint and primary key constraint. Okay, so we have got the next one, which is called as check constraint. Okay, 1 minute. So let's discuss something about check constraint, how to implement it. Check constraint is implemented only at column level. We cannot implement this at table level. Okay, so what it does, it checks for a given condition at the time of insert, at the time of inserting data into table. Okay, example is this. I'll say the condition is age should be greater than or equal to 18. That is the condition. So if I want to implement that constraint, I can use it in this way. I'll say create table student. I'm creating student table. To avoid the confusion, I'm giving it as student number 12. Okay. So first is student ID, which is of number type. And I'm giving here that it is 4-digit primary key. So I've implemented one primary key column. Next column, I would give student name, which is going to be of varchar2 type, size as 25. And I'll say here not null. Okay, I'll take one more column called as age column. Here I'm going to implement my check constraint. Okay, so age is of number type, size I'm giving it as 3-digit number, And here I'm giving immediately check for the condition. Check whether age, within brackets, age is greater than or equal to 18. This is how you give the constraint. So we have implemented 3 constraints on one table. Primary key constraint, which will not allow you to insert null, as well as no repetition of data. Okay. Next is not null. Not null will not allow you to insert null values. And check constraint has to check whether the number that is entered is greater than or equal to 18. Okay. So let us execute this and check. So I have pasted the code. And the execution says table is created. Okay. But the impact of the check constraint will be available only at the time of what? Inserting the data. Okay. So let me insert some data. We can make it interactive. Insert into table name is student 12 values. I'm giving the first value ampersand student ID. Next is in single quotation ampersand name. And then we have got age column. So I'll say ampersand age. So 2 number inputs and 1 string inputs. String inputs is given in single quotation. Okay. So I gave that. It is asking me for ID. I'll give 101. It's a unique information only we are entering. So I'm not violating primary key constraint. Next is name. If I hit enter, it will take null value. So I'm not violating even that. I'm giving here, let's say Ravi. Okay. The third one is age. I want to violate this. So to violate it, I'm saying age is 17. Age is 17. So if I hit enter, it should give me an error. That is how the error is given. Okay. So you're violating the constraint, check constraint. That is what it says. I'm re-executing it, giving the same ID 101. Okay. Ravi. And I'm giving, let's say 18, exactly equal to 18. It has to accept. You might have a doubt, already we inserted 101, but the data was not inserted properly. So there was no data available. That's why I gave 101 once again. Okay. Now I'm trying to violate the first rule, that is primary key. I'm giving 101 once again for Anand. I'm not violating the last rule, that is, let's say I'm giving it as 20. Okay. First rule I'm violating, second and third I'm not violating that. Okay. So I'll just hit enter. It will not accept because we have got unique constraint. That is, the first column has got unique constraint. That is primary key constraint. Okay. One more time I'm doing it. I'm trying to insert null. Okay. And here I'm giving name. Age, I'm giving 20. So I'm trying to skip one of the column. So it will not accept it. Okay. Because null is not allowed in primary key column. Not. Okay. So I'll just do once again. Execute it. This time I'm giving 102, not violating the first rule. Name I'm trying to skip. Age I'm giving it as 18. Okay. Once again executed. Same 102. Successfully I have to insert. So I'm giving here, let's say Dinesh. And Dinesh is of age 20. It has to insert. Okay. I'll insert one more record, 103. $104. 105. 106 and 107. So 7 records, we are successfully inserting them into the table. And now check the data. I want to commit this. Commit. Okay. And now I can select the data. Select star from table name is student 12. Select star from this is star. Okay. So I'll save this and exit from here. So here we are giving it again. student student. Okay. select star from student 12. Okay, so that is how the data is getting displayed. Successful insertion, and it is giving a check for column 1, column 2, as well as column 3. Okay, so this is what we did, and we are able to successfully insert data into the table. Okay, this is the table content. Okay, now if you observe it carefully, when you're working on any project, okay, what we have to do is we have to create a script file. If I create just like this, we don't have a backup copy of your script, whatever we are typing. Okay, just like demo build.sql. Okay, so if you're creating something for the project, it is created in this way. Okay, I'll say file name as project.sql. This is going to be the file name. Okay, and whatever table name we have given here, I'm just using that table name. That is the first statement. Table name is given. Then I performed insert statement to insert this values. Okay, so I just said insert into table name is student 12 and values. These are the values that we gave. And you know that this has to be terminated in between with comma. So I'm just giving even that. So what are we doing here is we are keeping track of your insert statements that we have performed. Okay, so I'm just going to copy it from here till here so that I can create one script file for this. Up to here. Okay. So insert statement. I'm going to use it for all the records that are being associated with table. This has to be created only once when you are working on tables. Okay. So that if you make any sort of mistakes, those mistakes can be eliminated at the time of creating the table. Okay. If you have idea of what mistake you made, you can come to the script, modify the script and execute it whenever you want. Okay. Right. So I just gave that. So it is just like the one which we have created previously, that is demo build. We refer to that, and that is a default one that is provided. So I'm going to use that default one. Okay. With the name as project.sql. Just see to it that you're not giving any extra spaces. If there are any extra spaces, you can eliminate them. And once your data is getting stored, you can even issue a commit statement if you want. Okay. And check out how exactly this file will be executed, just like your demo build.sql. Okay. Do not forget to give this as your single line insert. Okay. Okay. Now this is the code. I'll just copy this. We need this. It has to be stored in project.sql. Okay. It's getting heated. So I've just copied this content. Let me just go to SQL prompt. Student is a table name. So I'll just make use of this notepad followed with my file name project.sql. It will open up, sorry, post notepad project.sql. Okay. So it opens up a new page. I can paste the code, whatever has been created. This 12 is there. I want to make it as 13. Okay. So I'll just find and replace. Okay. Find and replace 12 with, let's say, 13. Replace all. Okay. So all are replaced with 13. Now, this is the advantage of writing it in a script file. I can modify and I can run this. I'll save this, file save. Okay. And I want to execute this file with the name as project. So I can come here at the prompt. Okay. I need to close it. Closed it. Come here and just say @ project.sql. This is one way of executing. The other way is you can say get followed with project.sql, or say project.sql is not required. So when you say get, it will be stored in memory. It is stored in memory. I want to run this, give a slash to execute it. Okay. So it gave me an error. What does that? Check this. At line number 2, there is some error. Okay. So create table name. I've given the column name. Okay. So this should come in single line. That is what it says. I gave a comma here. S name. And there's a termination of this. 1 minute. Let us check where it has given error. Right. So here I gave a semicolon. It is expecting a slash in place of semicolon. Okay. So let me just open post notepad, giving the name as project.sql. It opens, and this one, it is expecting us not semicolon, or it is expecting a slash. Okay. Slash is to execute only. Okay. So every statement, it is expecting us to provide a slash. So let me cross check again. Previously it failed. Now once again, I'm saying get project.sql. Okay, run this. Okay, it's not even recognizing this. Let me delete it. Delete line number 3. I've deleted that. Let us execute again without that slash. Insert into. Okay, please let me check this. I'll just go for demo build.sql that was being created previously, just to see what is missing in that. Okay. So here we have got demo build.sql. You can see it is given like create table, multiple columns. This is right. No slash is given. After that, insert is provided with a space. Insert is provided with a space. Okay. And these are the inserted values with a semicolon at the end. We are doing the same thing. Let us see where it has gone wrong. So once again, I'll say post notepad project.sql. Okay. Here, no need of semicolon is what it says. Space is there, and we have got insert statement. Okay, this should work. As a file save. Closing this, navigating back to the prompt. Directly, I'm saying @